Hey everybody, today let's talk some more about pacing, and specifically let's deal with compression. Compression is when, we sort of leave out some information, we compress time within a scene. And by leaving out that information, we do a couple of really important things. We allow the reader to be more engaged by filling in those blanks, filling in that information that we leave out. And it also quickens the pace as well as the suspense. That's actually three things. One of the things I do a lot that fights against compression, which I have to change, is over detailing. I'll really write a lot and really try to give the reader a really vivid picture of a scene. And during less important times of the manuscript, that's not necessary. Fortunately, my editor works with me a lot and reminds me to make sure I don't over detail. And she actually helps me to compress scenes a lot of times as well. And there are three ways, three sort of techniques we can try with compression. You can chop off, the end of a scene. We've talked about that before, where, you just leave the reader more suspense. So they want to turn the page to find out what happens in the next chapter. Another technique is to leave out that information that we talked about before, allowing them to fill that information in. But when we try this where we leave out information, we really have to be careful because you don't want to lose the reader. If you leave out too much information, then they begin to wonder about too much and they lose that narrative drive, that desire to find out what happens next. And in particular, when we deal with first person, the reader is sort of really along the ride with the narrator or protagonist. And so they really want to know what's going on at each step. So when you leave out information there, it can be really tricky. But otherwise, compression is a great way to keep the tension going and to keep the pace going up. And so here's an exercise to try to think about if you want to try more compression at certain places in your manuscript.